Say, I thought, you know what, I'd try to get some feedback from my little community here on what a Trump presidency, another Trump presidency would mean for the economy, for the real estate. And is Trump good for real estate? And I'm not going to share my specific opinions, but I thought I'd get some feedback and we can look around a little bit. I see you got Liam and Ron Douglas in here. That's great. Both actually students of mine, and avid investors now. Definitely avid real estate investors. So and also Liam's talented carpenter contractor in New York area, and then you've got Ron, who's been really almost a lifetime long businessman and a business mentor as well. So. I just thought it would be interesting to talk about the 4 years that he was in, and we can contrast that also with what's happened in the last 4 years. And that's this image you see behind me. That's actually a picture of me and Mr. Trump. Total gentleman. I will tell you about Mr. Trump. You and I might have other images here of Don Jr. and Giuliani, and Giuliani, complete gentleman. Really enjoyed talking to him. But I got to sit there and talk directly with Mr. Trump as well. This was an event that preceded, like a big event that he was going to later that evening. And what I'll say about Mr. Trump is when you're talking to him, and there's other people in the room, you got his attention. I mean, he is listening and responding to your every word. And it's very, very impressive. You can see that this guy, when he turns to you, it's laser focus, I guarantee you. It's pretty impressive. And that also even goes for Giuliani as well. And so let's talk about it. I've got a couple different articles that I've pulled up. Let me pull this screen down just for a second, and then we'll talk some more. You can find all kinds of stuff in here that's for and against Trump, and so it'd be interesting to kind of play some of this stuff and get some of your feedback on it. So I can tell you now, we all know interest rates were lower, right, during the Trump presidency, and inflation was also very low, and there's arguments on both sides, for inflation going up, but it and that it would have been, here's one of the things that one of the defining differences is with a Trump presidency. They believe in like drill baby drill, right? And we can talk about that, drill baby drill. So, what does drill baby drill mean, right? When Trump says drill baby drill, he doesn't mean in Saudi Arabia. He means here in the USA. So we got oil jobs. Okay, and this is what goes to the oil jobs in the USA, taking oil from the ground in the USA, whether you want to go all green or not, at least you can focus on the money. I mean, if you're not going all green and you're going to buy oil, you might as well buy it from the folks that supply it from right underneath the ground. Jerry says Trump is the total package. So look here, I'm going to jump over here, and we got somebody queuing in here to talk.
Morning. Tom, good morning. How are you?
Hey, caller, who do I got here?
Hey, Tom, this is Russ calling.
Oh, hey, Russ. That's great. Actually, we got Jerry and Ron and Liam in here. And so, man, everybody can actually take a chance to talk. So Russ, you own quite a bit of real estate. You're in an area, a part of the country, Portland, Oregon area, that not a place that, in an area that I think has suffered tremendously, in some ways, with property damage. In fact, I would venture to guess you're in one of the highest property damage areas anywhere in Portland, Oregon. But what do you got to say about Trump?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Under Trump, he had the opportunity zone where investors can build in certain areas, and then a certain amount of time passes by, and they can pull that property out. Deferral of taxes, capital gains. I'm not a tax attorney, but that's how I understood it. But either way, as a result, I've never seen as much cranes on the skyline, those building cranes for tall buildings, in my entire life. And I lived for like over 30 years in the Portland metro area,
Sure.
as I did under Trump. Never in the history. I was driving there, I just couldn't believe it. Cranes over here, cranes over there, all across the opportunities on huge apartment buildings being built. I think it was Kennedy that said a rising tide lifts all the boats.
Right.
And that money was trickling down into the economy. And there was a lot of, new investments going in. Like I said, a ton of cranes. I've never seen as much in my entire life. And right now, there's barely any. Everything's slowing down. Nothing compared to what I saw when, you can tell something was being done, right? At least in my opinion. There's a lot of work, and money trickling down into the economy.
Yeah. So
that's what I noticed with my 2 eyes. Yeah.
So tax incentives is one of the things that was apparent for you with the previous when Trump was in power, and of course we all know he's big on taxing the foreign entities, and he raised tariffs, which a lot of people did better under with the tariffs going to on the Chinese products. It leveled the playing field, because the give and take both ways was. You can see it. It's not the same. So I would say you are somebody that believes we'll do better under a Trump administration. Is that fair to say?
I saw a lot more real estate construction under Trump than when President Biden. At least a lot more jobs. I never that I have anyone call me and ask, for money or for work under Trump. Or complain to me that they're having a difficult, really, really hard time right now with finances. I had that a bunch of times over the last couple of months, and I was telling you that privately before, where folks are calling, they're in distress, they can't find a job, and on and on and on. I've never seen that ever in my entire life, but
so you
started happening here in the last year.
Right. So you feel if Trump returns to the presidency, that he can make real estate great again? That's kind of the question I'm posing.
Well, I'd seen what he did last time, where, like I said before, I've never seen as much cranes in my entire life filling the Portland skyline.
Yep.
There's a good chance he might do it again.
I've seen it. I know what you're talking about. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So I think he might. He's done it before. He has a good track record. So I guess. I mean, it's just terrible what happened to him over the last week. There's a lot of people praying for him for his safety, and
sure,
we'll see. What happens. We still got a long ways to go. I think 5 months left, or 6 months, 5 months.
120 some odd days, so about 4 months. It'll be interesting because, like I said, one of the things I can't honestly say that it's happened or not, but one of the worst things that Trump ran into when he came into is he had so much opposition from his own party. Paul Rand was probably Paul Rand and McConnell were probably the two people that ran the most interference on the Republican side for Trump, and that was a problem for him. So, but what I see now, or what it seems like, is they just seem much more unified. I think that, as hard as this guy's worked, and as much as he's gone through, whether you like him or not, this guy has gone through hell. I mean, like nobody else, scrutinized like nobody else. And then they look, the Supreme Court just threw out this other stuff and dumped these charges that are on him, and they're even still going to try to appeal it, but it doesn't even matter now. But the bottom line is the guy's a winner in every way. I mean, he seems to he fights and he wins, and and like I say, this dodging a bullet, whatever you want to call it, literally did dodge a bullet. that just has got to be, to think you just about got your head blown off, is a very, very powerful thing. And I can't even, I can only imagine how that's going to affect him moving forward. But again, I think if he becomes a unifier, then it'll be great for the country. But so anyways, I got you down here, trickle down tax incentives. Maybe Ron or Liam will call in as well, and we'll get some, or anybody else out there that wants to call in, go ahead. Pro, pro for or against, do you think Trump will make America great again? But hey, thanks for calling in, Russ. I'll cut you loose here. But,
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, buddy. Take care.
Take care.
Yeah. So again, if anyone's calling, the number's right there at the screen, 424-866-7929. And share your thoughts. Jerry Mills wrote, Trump is the total package. Ron Douglas wrote, only time we were powered to independent. And that is true. We did become independent of other countries for oil. And now that's just quickly changed. And so Romero, he's got quite a few emojis there, but it looks positive. So. But hey, if you just got here, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I've been investing in real estate for 43 years and love sharing the package. Got a book, Wake Up and Smell the Real Estate. Urge you to get a copy. I think you'll find out to be the best $10-20 you ever spent. And if you like that, then you can jump into the mentorship, which I also offer. And that is right here, just so you see it. And then we'll keep on talking. Oh, we another call coming in. That's great. I love this call participation. All right. But at the mentorship here, you can see, in fact, some of these guys that are in these pictures have actually are in the queue to call in, I believe, are watching right now. But Jerry been a rock star, and all these guys. I mean, everybody, whether just people making anywhere from tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands, $1 million and even multi-million dollars, and it's a fantastic thing. And we got these higher interest rates, and it's not the end of the world, and feels very, very tough, very, very tough for new home buyers. Because I was kind of joking, not in a real funny way, but it's it's like 200,000 is the new 400,000, because it's as painful to buy a $200,000 home today as it was to buy a $400,000 home 2 years ago, because the interest rate is essentially doubled. So who do we got on the phone?
Hey, this is Ron.
Oh, hey, Ron. Hey, Ron. So Ron's a great guy, been a heavy investor here now for the last 3.5 years, real estate. Has pretty diverse portfolio and been in business a long time. He has mentoringgiants.com is his website, and he mentors business people, and he was actually in my, I mentored Ron in real estate. So, but Ron, what do you think? What are your feelings? Trump, good or bad for real estate?
Oh, I think he's definitely going to be good for real estate. I mean, when it comes to real estate, he's definitely going to be good. I think he's pro-growing America. He's going to be, all for supporting us as investors. My only fear is that the people that are against him are going to wait until after he's elected to collapse the economy that they've been propping up for who knows how long. But it's funny because when he was in office, I was, you knew what I was buying over here and remodeling, and I was buying houses for 40, and those same houses literally just got appraised. I just got the appraisal in yesterday for a house that I purchased for $40,000, and it's $199. Can you believe that? I mean, many Christmas. That's a huge difference. There was another house that I bought for $90, and I did a light remodel. $5,000-$6,000. I did it in a remodel, and I bought it for $90, and it just sold for $252.
Right. And
it's crazy.
Yeah, and What's always interesting. I mean, this inflation. Here's the thing that most people make the argument for Trump. He fights inflation because look, the only way to really fight inflation is with jobs. And he is a big time job guy. I mean, he brought us more jobs than any previous president. At least that's what it would appear to by record. Some people like to argue that. When the president administration talks about getting jobs, they're taking credit for bounce back jobs too. In other words, jobs that were created that went away from the pandemic and then came back, which is you can make an argument is not a fair assessment, but
Right.
right. But yeah, I would agree with you 100%. Most people would say he is pro growth, and the like I say the Russ had said earlier, trickle down, tax incentives, and even with being specific, he's just saying he felt it without even narrowing it down. He saw the growth, that went on during the Trump admin, and and even though the president doesn't really have any effect on the Fed rate, other than if he can improve the economy and lower inflation, that's one thing. But what he did do when they were going to they were talking about raising the rates, and I remember Trump was extremely active in sharing his negative thoughts with the Fed for raising the rates at that time. And it did spur the economy quite a bit. Like I say, all these tax incentives. I've been in business a long time, and one of the things I can tell you right now, business people like certainty. If you remove certainty, it just screws everything up. Like if you know where you stand tax wise, if they, if you can, whatever they have the 179. I forget what they refer to exactly, but it lets you like write off. If you buy a piece of equipment, if you invest in a piece of equipment for your company, they'll let you, accelerate the write-off, which makes it easier for you to justify buying that piece of equipment. Well, we're talking about you might buy a piece of equipment that employed 100 people for, a week to make that piece of equipment, and it could be a car, it could be anything, and that certainty, when you know that you've got that you can rest assured that tax incentive is going to stay intact, you'll buy, and then it does trickle down, and as much as other people get the benefit of a job and start building, and so.
Exactly. I mean, that's a prime example of what's happening. When they say they're going to raise rates and then drop rates, and nobody knows what the rate's going to do. They say they're going to drop it, and then they change their mind. And what has that done? It's completely brought, real estate to almost a standstill. Everybody's waiting to find out is the rate going to go up or down or what, and it's just kind of silly. Right. And that's the uncertainty that you're talking about.
Right. Yeah. It makes it very, very difficult. And it petrifies first-time investors. It petrifies first-time homeowners. I mean, they're not just petrified, they're actually incapable of buying the home. They don't qualify because the payment is too high because of the interest rate. And so, even if you say you can buy with 1% down, it really doesn't help them because what they can't deal with is the month to month. Let's see. So Justin just wrote in, Trump will keep the 1031 safe. Biden wants to get rid of it and raise the capital gains tax. I'm learning more and more of the... Leading. What is it? Leading.
He's leaning more and more, right?
Leading. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm leaning more and more to the right. Oh, I see. As I get older. Yeah, that's it. There's obviously, there's a huge amount of the country, and I don't even like to say to the right. I consider it more to the swing voters, it just depends on what you count yourself as. But listen, the both sides, Trump has had to fight both parties in his previous deal. In fact, nobody got in the way more of Trump trying to move forward with the plans that he had than Paul. What was it? I don't want to say Rand Paul because it's not Rand Paul. What's the other one? He ran with Romney. Anybody? Not Paul. His name's Paul. Anyways, a horrible politician in my opinion. I didn't like the guy at all, and he's gone. He's gone now. But he was totally somebody that obstructed constantly, as did McConnell. Not Ron Paul. This guy's Paul. Remember? Can you remember Ron? He ran with Romney. Romney. Look up who Romney ran with.
He ran with Romney?
Yeah, when Romney ran for president, it was Paul Ryan. Yeah.
Paul Ryan, yeah, the tall skinny kid, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people very disappointed in him, and the major complaint is that he was just somebody that obstructed constantly, and that was one of the things you'd usually hear. Trump would talk about. He'd always praise the Democrats because they stuck together. But his own party did not stick together. But I think that's going to change. I think that will change, and obviously for a lot of reasons, it would look that Trump will win. It's just because it's just for a lot of reasons. It would appear that way, but so that's why I bring up the question. Will he make real estate great again? Because he did. I felt strongly that he brought the economy back. And when Trump came in the last time, I was already concerned, because we'd done that quantitative easing for so long, and just printing money is terrible for the value of the dollar. And and by the time, but he actually, he did a lot of good things that turned things around. So, the economy, whether you like him or not, the economy got better and really never got real bad, and it took a pandemic to screw things up. So,
your previous caller made a good point. That previous caller made a good point about the opportunity zones. I bought several properties in the opportunity zones, and honestly, I forgot all about it. I got to go back and research that and figure out what opportunity I got.
Yeah.
So I need to take advantage of that.
Yeah, if you go into there's so many things. Everybody should look up the opportunity zones. Like I'll do it right now. In the opportunity zones, let me see. Because I read through it. I almost bought a property in an opportunity zone too. And then a friend of mine, you can actually go back and I think you can even take. Oh God, you can even take. I think where you miss the boat in doing a 1031. I think you can use those funds and recapture the deferment. Don't hold me to it, but there's so many things. And by the way, if those you watching, an opportunity zone is like trying to improve a bad part of town, for lack of a better description. It's taking an area that would be considered a risk of putting your money in, like an area where they're tearing down statues, and rioting and setting fires, like Portland would be probably all of Portland could probably be an opportunity zone, or it should be. But and maybe that's and that's actually who the previous caller, that's where he's from too. But there is risk in opportunity zones in general. But I will say this: the opportunity zones have been spread out in just about every city in the country, as far as I know, and so there's some actual cities that are actually completely good. They're nice areas. You might be in one of them. That there's opportunity zone just because they had to put it somewhere, and it's not even like a high risk area. So it's something to consider.
Well, and that's what ours is. I mean, it's just because ours is a small town, our small farming community, so we're just considered a small town. But population only 4,500, and our whole downtown Main Street was in the opportunity zone. So I started buying in there. Wow. Not even knowing what I was getting myself into. I was just buy there anyways, but opportunity zone was just a bonus, and I forgot to follow up and look it up and see what advantages it was.
Well, and I'm like I say, when I have an opportunity, something like that to study, I usually know it really well very quickly when I'm, to a point of buying something. But I believe there is also there is some. In other words, you may not even have to pay capital gains. Your capital gains get reduced to next to nothing if you do make money on the property. So,
Oh, that would be nice because I've got one right now. The lady wants to buy the building. I didn't even think about that. Maybe I should sell it.
yeah, you know what? I can tell you there was a back in, I want to say 2000, probably around 2000. An agent had come to me and he said, Tom, he goes, you know what? He goes, we got people coming in here now. They're buying on a 4 cap. I go, are you kidding me? A 4 cap? Which is crazy low, and I go, that's it, I'm selling. And I immediately sold my apartment buildings and I got a premium. I paid $10,000 a unit for those apartments. I sold them for $55,000 a unit and basically made, 500% on the original investment. So, there's a time to sell. There's a time to sell. And yeah, you may just have a couple of properties in there, Ron, that are ripe for that reason. So yeah. Anyways, yeah. But yeah. Anything else you got to share? Always a pleasure hearing from you.
I just can't wait for it to get in there and make some changes. I'm hoping he doesn't get so tied up with like he did last time with everybody swinging at him that he didn't have a chance to really make many policy changes. But I'm hoping he can get in there and turn this real estate around because obviously that'll help the whole country.
Yeah. Well, I think most people tend to believe that he will bring the jobs, and with the jobs, it will drop the inflation and make things more affordable to, just by working, things become more affordable, getting paid more, makes things more affordable. And so it would be a wonderful thing for everybody because we can certainly see, one thing everybody can say is they know what the last 3.5 years have been like. They've seen what's happened. There's a big concern over Social Security because of the high rate of, people are being allowed to get on Social Security that haven't even lived in the country for a month. And so it's draining resources that were, established and paid for by generations of people that have been here. So that is, it's very real. So anyways, well, thanks a lot for calling in, Ron. And
I appreciate it, man. Totally agree with you. Take care.
All right, man. Thank you. Take care.
We'll see you.
All right. Hey, Liam or anybody else want to call in? The line's open, 424-866-7929. And Jerry, anybody out there that wants to call in is welcome to call in. Whether do you think he's good for? What do you think Trump can make real estate great again? Because right now real estate's a little tough. The interest rates are high. I started much higher rates than this. And so you can still make money. And and so I'm going to be right back after that. Somebody think about calling in.
Stop and listen. Time is on a mission to eliminate all the snake oil and the fake gurus that fake y'all. He'll show you how to build an empire, starting with nothing but a desire. All you really need is a good mentor, not a used car bullshit. With time, you'll learn to crush it. Investing like Warren Buffett. With real estate, you cannot procrastinate. Everyone who hesitates is left at the starting gate. Hey, yo, so don't delay and join today. The mentorship and flip anything. USA, go.
All right. So, anyways, it's a beautiful day here, and actually, my boys just turned. I have twin boys. They just turned 21 years old. That's another thing people have concern of staying out of wars. And one thing, Trump kept us out of wars, and we didn't seem to have anything terrible. Nothing really escalated. He seemed to keep our enemies at bay. When you have young sons, of course, if they got to go to war, you want them to go. You want them to have a commander in chief that you feel good about. And I think there's a lot of people that would not feel good about their kids going, especially under the current administration. And I'm sure there's others that might feel the same way if Trump was in charge. But so I'm trying to be neutral on here, so nobody should know how I feel. I've been squashed before by YouTube gods. But anyways, hey, if you enjoyed this conversation, please make a comment. And number one way to comment is to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Helps channel. And I live and breathe real estate. I've enjoyed it for 43 years. And it's I barely feel like I've worked a day in my life because I've enjoyed what I've done. It doesn't mean I haven't had tough times. It doesn't mean I haven't been over leveraged and stressed and had high vacancies at one time or another. But there's just nothing like it, and it's the most rewarding. And I'll tell you what, if you haven't heard, I've got a mentorship. I urge you to go right here to the up here where it says apply for mentorship. Just apply for mentorship. And whatever your political leanings, I could not care one way or another. But if you apply for mentorship and also get my book, you want to get my book, it's been a bestseller. You can see all these reviews on my book, by the way. A lot of positive stuff. And but the best endorsement I have for the book is the success of the mentees that read the book and have taken the mentorship. So I urge you to listen. There's just no other way. It's the cheapest education for the highest, most profitable way to make a living, and I compare that to anyone. I mean, look, I was a millionaire by the time many of my friends had gotten out of college, and they're just barely starting. Some making $100,000 a year, and I've already a millionaire, and I didn't finish high school. So, that's why I'm such a big believer in it. But hey, I appreciate everyone sharing and sharing their thoughts. And we'll do this again sometime soon. And again, I wishing the president, the former president, well, and who well may be the new president, the future president. Very, very tough, very, very tough stuff this guy's been through. He is a tough guy, and I appreciate how tough he's been in business. And but man, he is definitely somebody. Oh, we got one more person calling in. Let's see. Let's go ahead and take this call too. Hang in there, caller. Hey, caller. How you doing?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Thanks for calling in. What's up?
Hey, it's Liam. How you doing?
Oh, it's Liam?
Yeah.
Oh, great. I did not recognize you.
I'm calling right out there in Texas.
Yes, sir. So, Liam, what do you think? What do you think is the Trump presidency? Will he make real estate great again? What do you think?
I do. I think that I think it's going to be. I think we're into some uphill slide over here with him getting in. Just like an overall. I don't know. I think it's just going to. This economy is going to support him. Where I am here was never. We had inflation and everything like everything else, but we didn't see over here in Jersey what some as far as the market. Really turning, but I don't know. If things could get better. I got something on the market that the extra ones that I wish that would move along a little bit quicker, but
have you seen any more joblessness? Have you seen more people on welfare or some sort of government help?
I haven't really. I'm in construction, and things are busy. Like, things are busy in the city, they're busy here, but, it doesn't mean everyone has a job, but it means that, things are things are okay now, and it's definitely room for improvement. And yeah.
Yeah, and how about, I know you've got, Liam also was actually in the class. Liam, what do you think? How about your last house? Did you lower the price on it? Liam just did a major.
Yeah, I lowered it. I lowered it to where I thought it should have been, that I would have been very happy with. And that's where it's sitting now. And I'm not really getting much action, but I can tell you, since I lowered the price, and I only really been looking like once a day, and I know it's not, it's anecdotal, but I've been looking at the Zillow, and where I was only getting maybe 2 or 3 likes in a day, I'm starting to get 10 and 10 to 12 or so likes a day. So I'm thinking that eventually, it seems to be trending in the right direction.
Yeah.
And that's it. I put it up for big money. I didn't get it.
Right.
So
Well, it's summertime too. You know what? I can tell you, it's always been my experience, as summer's coming to an end, everybody's trying to, get one more vacation in or do something with their kids, make a memory. I'm actually going to fly to Niagara Falls tomorrow and just hang out for a day or two. And but
you know what? I like what you're saying with the heat and the hot in the summer. I understand all that, and it is hot. And I'm home during the middle of the day.
right.
Most of that reason is because it is so hot, and it has been so hot, and I've been working out there. But anyway, I got a 4-bedroom house. The school district is a nice school district. I'm thinking that somebody who's got to be settled in by September, they have to be buying now. So this is, and they're saying this is why I'm thinking that it's probably the best time to be on the market. But just because I think it doesn't mean it's so. It doesn't mean it happens. And
I know that
these things happen in a vacuum too.
Yeah.
How many times you hear a story about, I can't believe they got that much money for the house. Like people throw something up that's worth whatever, and they get 20% premium on it.
Yeah, happens all the
That
time.
doesn't make the market. Yeah, because somebody wanted to be in that spot. That's why.
Right. Well, I can say for myself. Yeah. In like Austin, there's plenty of people that came to this city and they're like, you know what? They don't want to move twice. And so they will pay a premium. They will pay more than a property is worth because they just say, I got a job. I got to get settled. And they don't want to move twice.
I get settled in.
Yeah. So,
and with when you have kids in the school system, I would think that that would be a major consideration.
right. Yep.
On getting settled down. So I don't know.
Yep.
It's definitely going to be interesting. This whole it's very interesting. This whole political process that's going on. And I like to watch. I make no bones about it. I was on the Trump train since 2015, and even before that. So. I don't make any bones about who I support.
Yeah, it's funny. I got to say, I have never seen so many people switch. In other words, there's a lot of people that I knew were anti-Trump that have become pro-Trump. A lot.
Listen, and you know how much of a genius this guy is. I don't want to cut you. I'm sorry to cut you off, but he's got Vance, who was on record as a never Trumper, but that was 6-7 years ago.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? Things turn around. Huh?
Well, listen, seeing believing. He has whatever. You can look at what he did when he was in charge, and so it's silly.
I know.
It's like I say the allegations that go out that say he's going to be a dictator. He's going to he's like the new Hitler and that sort of. I mean, it's just silly to say that because he's already been in power, and so it just.
And listen, and I think I think the people could see this is why I'm saying this guy's going to win 48 states because
a lot of people think it's either going
48 is a big number.
Yeah,
they won't get California, and if you look at Texas is a huge number of 40 delegates. If you look at the map, it's all red except for where you live and in Houston.
Yeah, well, they say he's got a huge advantage in the swing states like never before seen. So it'll be interesting. Yeah, Russ just wrote, what do you think of the VP pick, which, I didn't follow J.D. Vance particularly well. I mean, I know he wrote a book, Hillbilly Elegy, that turned into a movie, which I understand is, which I also understand to be, a very powerful and touching story. Basically, J.D. Vance came from super modest means, abusive father. Sounded like him and his mother were abused, and he was in a poor, very very poor, and but nevertheless, he went to Yale. I think he went to Yale, and
Yeah, he wasn't didn't even go to Yale. He was like in charge over there. He was like head of the his number was summa cum laude. You name it. This guy's got some resume on him.
Ron said he just watched the movie, and he said he watched it last night, and he said it was quite good. He said it was sad, very sad upbringing. Believe me, listen, I had a dad, that loved me, and we were poor, and he was unemployed at times, and I didn't live with my mother that much, but I saw other people that were even worse off than we were, and so yeah, you can see it's tough stuff, broken homes, it's tough stuff. But I'm actually going to go. Let's see. Ron also said he went to Yale while dealing with a mom overdosing. So his mom had some real troubles for sure. And he even said last night in the Milwaukee convention, he said that his mother had a mouth that would make a sailor blush. Is what he said. But,
Oh well.
Yeah. But very interesting. Well, anyways, hey.
I think I think we're going to be all right, Tom.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to different times than what we've had. I'm looking for a different path, and I'm looking forward to drilling and taking oil out of our own ground, because the money stays in our country. It doesn't make sense to buy oil from countries that hate us, and so. It's going to be interesting, and actually we're going to talk about this again. So listen, hey, you know what? I appreciate you guys all coming in, Liam, Ron, Russ,
Right.
Always look forward. Even though Jerry didn't get in this time, I think really more and more. I think I'm going to just host more shows and just. Because, listen, you guys are the best and brightest, so we really should have you guys on more talking, and so that's what we'll do. But let's get that going more often, and it's inspirational to the folks. You guys have all made a lot of money with real estate here in a relatively short time, and in different ways that you've done it. So it's very, very cool. So anyways, I'm going to go. I gotta do a few things before I leave town tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. So I'll say bye to everybody, and maybe we'll do a live a little later on today. But as always, a pleasure. Thanks, Liam. I appreciate your input and sharing. Oh, he's already gone. We'll see y'all later. Hey, hit that subscribe button, and we'll do it again soon.